All right. Welcome to Vetted. I'm Patrick. Okay, thank you guys for the live stream. Just want to keep this, like up to date, right up to the minute of what's going on with this SCIF meeting. So we're going to take a look at basically a lot of stuff from ASKAPOL. So I just want to give a couple minutes here just to let everyone jump in, make sure we're doing okay. All right. Hello. Yes, Patrick with Vetted. Let's see what we got. And I'll just let some people jump in. Make sure audio's okay. All right. Well, guys, hate to disappoint, but looks like that's what it's going to be. So, look, we're going to go over all the up-to-minute information about the SCIF meeting, basically from ASKAPOL. They're doing a great job. Matt, Laslo, let's get, want to give props to them and credit to them. So, really want to just cover their stuff. We're also going to do a little update on what's happening with David Grusch with the SCIF meetings and all of this that's floating around. Because after I put out my video yesterday, new stuff came out. Now we don't know if that's true either, so we'll go into all of that. But basically, yeah, not looking good on the SCIF meeting, guys. Let's just jump in. We'll start there. If there's any issues with my mic or anything, let me know. On my end, it seems to be working, so I always like to double check that. But all right, let's give this a go here. So yeah, basically, well, this person tweeted out, I'm not seeing any info on this. Not sure if it's a real quote. So ASKAPOL saying, someone want to tell them we don't make shit up. Okay, so what are they talking about? We're going to watch this video right here and check that out. So let's do that. Let me go to all my my bookmarks here. I bookmarked a bunch of them. We'll get to all this stuff, guys, but let's just start with this video. See where we're at. So it says, Representatives Tim Burchett and Eric Burleson, after UAP briefing in the SCIF, someone has found some sort of propulsion, Burleson told reporters, full quote coming. So Matt Laslo followed up asking if they think it's foreign or domestic. Let's start there.
This technology, it's more so that our own government.
I can't say. I don't know.
Can you go over the money question again, just a bit more broadly? This money is appropriated by Congress, but why is it that you all don't know exactly how it's spent?
Yeah, that's exactly my question. So so I think that the answer is that Grusch, his claims were that in some cases there's overbilling, or they're funding things that are to the extent calling it something else.
At one point, the Pentagon, 60% of their assets are unaccounted for. They've never passed an audit. This last deal, and we raised those issues, they penalized them by giving them $30 billion additional dollars this year. So, that's pretty clear. We're afraid to ask, and if you ask, you're not being patriotic. And that's why I call them war pimps. That's all they are.
So why not go right now? So why not go right now to the new Speaker's office and kind of get his ear before the Pentagon does?
Yeah, we should do that.
Have you talked to him?
He just got elected.
I know, right?
The answer is yes.
Yeah. All right.
Good.
Appreciate you.
So interesting. Let's look here, right? ASKAPOL's got a lot here. What'd you learn? What'd you learn in there? Absolutely nothing, Tim Burchett tells the few reporters who staked out the SCIF. Nothing new, Anna Paulina tells us, of the classified UAP briefing in SCIF. Pointless. Oh, man. Right, guys?
This technology, it's more so that.
I think a lot of people, this is interesting. So they asked AOC as she exited the SCIF where a classified UAP briefing is happening. So how was it in there? She said classified. No clips are revealing, Matt Laslo says. They were in a classified setting. They literally go to jail if they divulge most of what was said in there. Yep, that seems to be the consensus. So there was a new speaker elected, and this is interesting. So top Republican on UAP caucus not asking speaker candidates their position on UFOs. Luna, I think he'd probably be supportive. Probably in Washington means never. So that's interesting. So it's not looking good, guys. Honestly, this is not looking good. Not looking good at all. Mike Johnson. Okay, that's the new speaker. But Tim Burchett, how he is on UAPs, he says, we're good. So, what are we supposed to think here? This is all a mess. Absolute mess. I just don't even know what to think, y'all. Let's watch this clip again. See if we get anything out of it new that I missed this first time around.
This technology, it's more so than our own government.
I can't say. I don't know.
Can you go over the money question again, just a bit more broadly? This money is appropriated by Congress, but why is it that you all don't know exactly how it's spent?
Yeah, that's exactly my question. So where? So I think that the answer is that Grusch, his claims were that in some cases there's overbilling, or they're funding things that are to the extent of calling it something else.
At one point, the Pentagon, 60% of their assets are unaccounted for. They've never passed an audit. This last deal, and we raised those issues, they penalized them by giving them $30 billion additional dollars this year. So, that's pretty clear. We're afraid to ask, and if you ask, you're not being patriotic. And that's why I call them war pimps. That's all they are.
So why not?
So see, that's interesting. So they're talking about the money and all of that, and I think that's where David Grusch must have focused his documents or whatever, but we're just not going to know what they talked about in there, essentially, right? I mean, someone has found some sort of propulsion. It says full quote coming. I don't know. Who did that? Who reported on that? So honestly, doesn't really matter. We're not going to learn anything. Like bring all the interviews, a quote, it doesn't matter. They basically said absolutely nothing. That just tells us everything we need to know. Temperature, absolutely nothing. That's what they learned in that skiff. Pointless. So brings up the next point, kind of. We'll come back to this in a sec. But what happened yesterday, right? This tweet goes out from Rob Heatherly, not sure the name, because story going around that David Grusch, right, couldn't go to the skiffs because he couldn't afford a plane ticket. That's what Senator Gillibrand had told Matt Laslo from ASKAPOL, and that she didn't have it in her budget either, right, for that. And then yesterday, this guy tweets out, according to my anonymous source close to David Grusch, Gillibrand was misinformed about travel expenses being an issue. David Grusch paid for all his travel expenses for the July 26th hearing. He has no issues paying his own travel expenses for additional trips to D.C. Laslo needs to get an accurate update from Gillibrand or her staff and set the record straight. Well, I like that he puts it on Laslo, this guy. Nothing offends this guy, but he's got an anonymous source. Laslo's like out there on the beat, y'all, like in the mix. So I don't really like that. Why doesn't Rob Heatherly get an accurate update from Gillibrand and set the record straight? Because everyone was running with this like as if it's true. I'm not saying it's not true, but this is just one anonymous source close to David Grusch. I mean, nothing against this guy, but who's this guy? Ancient history, UFO, UAP researcher, co-host on Military Witnesses to UAP on YouTube. He's a disabled, retired structural engineer, cost estimator, U.S. Marine vet. Okay, great. Much respect. All of that. But we also can't just anonymous source close to David Grusch. What it could be his a maid that comes once a month, and she overheard something and doesn't know exactly what she overheard, right? Like, we don't know what that means. So it's really hard to trust that, to be honest with you. We just need to hear from David Grusch about this. Like, what's going on with the skiffs? Is this why he didn't want to go? Like, it's just not good, right? But so we still don't know if this is real. But people are spreading it around like it's David Grusch's statement, right? That's not true. It's not David Grusch's statement. This is this guy saying he has a source close to David Grusch that's what they're hearing. Again, they're not saying David Grusch told him to say this. I'm just saying there's a lot of stuff. And if you go through the comments of this, I tried to get Jesse Michaels involved. You see that? I tweeted out, let's see if we can get him to ask David Grusch, because that's how we're going to find out for sure, 100% what's going on. Now, there's another SCIF meeting coming up in November, so maybe they'll learn from this one and up it on this next one. But again, we don't know exactly what the contents are inside. Are they actually discussing David Grusch's documents, or are they on their own, have their own stuff they're presenting? It sounds like they presented some stuff, about UAPs, not necessarily, and discuss UAPs in general, but not necessarily, and that it might be foreign, right? But they didn't necessarily discuss like sightings. Okay, David Grusch, the locations on a map and the warehouse where the UFOs are, and these are the 40 witnesses, and so I don't know what's going on. So right here it says it could easily, okay, hang on. That's not the one I'm looking for. Where's okay. So I don't know where it's at. Anyway, Rob Herthley goes on, or Hetherly, whatever. He goes on to say, like, in another, you can look it up yourself. I'll put links to all of this. You can find it. But he goes on to say, like, you should just trust me, man. You should just trust me. Sorry, we can't just trust me, bro, our way through this. Like, that's what's having to happen. Listen, I got an anonymous source. I mean, it'd be like me coming with the biggest information and being like, I got this anonymous source telling me the big stuff's coming on the way. Why would you believe me? You shouldn't. And again, nothing against this guy. Thank you for your service, all of that. My father served, my grandfather served. I mean, great. I was born in Omaha on an Air Force base out there. According to my anonymous source close to David Grusch, Jill LeBrin was misinformed about travel expenses, right? Being an issue. David Grusch paid for, okay. He has no issues paying his own travel expenses. So that's what he's getting from his source. I don't know. Again, he didn't want to expound on his source when people were pushing back on him. So I honestly just don't know what's going on, and it's just very frustrating. All right, let me see what some of these comments are, y'all, that y'all are leaving. FF. Personally, I am shocked. Yeah. Did David Grusch testify? Ben says, yeah. He testified last July. I don't know what that question means. Did you mean did he testify in the SCIF? No, he did not. Pat, I prefer Pacifico. Okay. Oh, I got it. Is that our bet about beer? All right. Yes, Ben. Good call. You got it, bud. I'm not sure. I can't remember the bet now, but whatever. I lost. Yeah, look. Yeah, this is crazy, right? Like, what are they talking about? That's just a problem with this stuff. So I don't know what we do, right? We just need a statement from David Grusch. So we've got anonymous sources, right? We got Senator Gillibrand and her staff potentially being misinformed on what's happening. Let's listen to that again. Let me see here, guys. I'm going to go to the video that I made about it. Hang on. Hey, y'all, Patrick. Oh, goodness, that's weird. All right, we're listening to Me Within Me. Again, this is journalist Matt Laslo from ASKAPOL. This is behind a paywall, y'all. So I paid to get this for y'all so you guys don't have to do it, and we can hear it directly. All right, Patrick, wrap it up, buddy. From Senator Gillibrand's mouth, what we're about to find out here.
Now there's reports that the House, they're going to be able to bring in Grusch and SCIF.
Oh, that's great.
Along with some other folks.
Oh, I'll try to get invited to that.
Yeah,
Yes.
will you?
So, that was October 19th, right? About a week ago. Clearly, Grusch did not go to this. And Senator Gillibrand, it sounds like she didn't go either.
Yes, I will ask to be invited. When are they doing that?
Well, they were promised it. Here's another story I'm working on.
But he lives in
So, he lives in California. Basically, let's listen, Patrick.
California.
She's saying he lives in California, but if you know from the video yesterday that I made about David Grusch's new interview, bombshell interview that I found that no one has reported on, okay, because it's a print-only newspaper. Check out the video that I posted yesterday. He lives in Colorado, not California.
Promised by Jim Jordan and his people. So if Jordan doesn't become speaker, the
Well,
promise
there's no
might become
reason.
nullified.
There's no reason why he can't come in and testify in a SCIF. I mean, he spoke to,
I know, right?
He spoke to our intelligence staff at some point in time.
Have you had trouble, or have you been able to work it out?
He doesn't want to. He needs me to pay for his flight.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't have a budget to pay for someone's flight or hotels. So I can talk to him on the phone, but then he can't tell me anything classified.
But maybe you can piggyback on.
Yeah, if the house.
Honestly, I don't know if she's misinformed, y'all. I don't know. I know that's a story floating around, but like listening back to this again, like the way she's saying it, it makes me think she's not misinformed. That was probably potentially a conversation they had. That doesn't mean that David Grusch didn't later change his mind, right? And be like, no, okay, I'll pay, but she doesn't know that yet. But I bet at one point in time that was discussed. Now, you can watch this video from yesterday, and it doesn't matter if he can't afford it and she's saying she has no budget to get him out to a SCIF. None of that should matter. Clearly, tons of people are willing to pay for him to go out, so money can't be the issue anymore. And surely David Grusch has heard that by now, right? So that can't be the issue. Money. So we got the November SCIF coming up, and we'll see exactly what is going to happen there. You know what I mean? You know what I'm going to do real quick? Let's see just quick up to date. SCIF meeting, David Grusch. Let's just see if there's anything new. I mean, up to date, guys. Let's find out. So look here. This is interesting from Joe Cahill. Department of Defense Inspector General happening this Thursday. Subject, UAP UFO disclosure material David Grusch presented to authorities. So that's interesting. So was what they discussed today, some of David Grusch's stuff, and, Tim Burchett saying this is nonsense, that's not good, y'all. That's not good at all, right? Because let's go back to that, right? What are they saying? Nothing. We learned nothing in there. What'd you learn in there? Absolutely nothing, Tim Burchett, right? Nothing new, pointless. So did they or did they not discuss David Grusch's material? Right? That's what Joe Cahill is reporting, right, from News Nation, that's what they were going to discuss today in the hearing. So just doing math here, right? And then after that SCIF is done, in the SCIF. So after the SCIF's done, Tim Burchett saying absolutely nothing new, pointless, right? So that leads me to believe that some of David Grusch's documents and stuff may be not what we thought it was. I'm not saying that's what it is. I'm just saying maybe there's... Oh, that's not good, y'all. Okay, a lot of comments, y'all. Sorry. I'm going to leave that for y'all to kind of... Here, let me read a few of these. Oh, my goodness. Okay. So what was presented was explainable, and unexplainable UFOs wasn't presented. Sad, Leticia Hernandez. Yeah, I mean, Ben, yeah, the bet we had on the video. Okay, yeah, absolutely. No, we'll connect on that, man. I'll get you your beers. Don't worry. Man of my word. JJ writes, this is a great chessboard. Everybody is taking their positions and making their moves. I'm disappointed about the outcome of the SCIF, but I also did not expect them to disclose any classified info. Well, that's actually a great point, JJ, because what did we expect? Right? Them to pop out of the meeting and be like, guys, UFOs are real. It's real. I mean, what did we actually expect? They come out of the meeting like flying like a UFO, like kids. I mean, what were we really actually expecting for them to come out and say? To be frank, the answer that you should say and that I expected was what AOC said. So what happened in the SCIF meeting? Classified. Meaning, I'm not going to tell you if it's good or bad, right? But, Tim Burchett and Anna Paulina, they went a step further, right? What'd you learn in there? Absolutely nothing, right? So they told us a little bit more, right? Nothing new and pointless. I don't know. But yes, what did we expect to actually learn? I think if there was something extra there, right? Tim Burchett would have been like, very interesting, very excited for the next SCIF meeting, right? That would have been what we would have liked to have heard, right? They're not revealing what was in there, but letting us know, yep, that we're on to something here, right? Getting hot, not cold, right? That would have been what it was. And it sounds like, this guy right here, I'll be honest, Burleson, he looks like a deer caught in headlights, man. Does he not? Let's watch this again. Just pay attention to that guy. He kind of looks like he's looking at Tim Burchett like, help me out here. Like, starts giving an answer and then like, come on, dude. Well, I don't know what I'm saying. Right? Even when Matt Laslo suggests, hey, man, why don't you go talk to the speaker and find out, get in there before everybody. Yeah, I think we should do that. What do you mean? You haven't thought of this stuff? So good on Matt Laslo, man. I like this guy. Anyway, again, he's there, on the beat, y'all. He's not, I got an anonymous source, and I'd be more likely to trust that guy's anonymous source, no offense to the other guy about David Grusch, because we have no way to confirm or deny that, right? And if we just need to stop paying attention to anonymous sources. So we don't know exactly what's going on with David Grusch until we hear from David Grusch himself, a statement from him, right, signed by him. We don't know. So don't trust any anonymous sources. Maybe Gillibrand is misinformed, and that's the nearest we have to go off of, right, is that, and Matt Laslo's reporting. But let's watch this again.
Our own government.
I can't say. I don't know.
Again, he's asked about, someone has found some sort of propulsion, Burleson told reporters. Full quote coming. Yeah, I can't even imagine what that quote is. So Matt Laslo followed up asking if they think it's foreign or domestic. Again, I don't think there's going to be anything there, so whatever. But,
Go over the money.
and he's saying he can't.
Again, just a bit more broadly, this money is appropriated by Congress, but why is it that you all don't know exactly how it's spent?
Yeah, that's exactly my question. So where? So I think that the answer is that Grusch, his claims were that in some cases there's overbilling, or they're funding things that are to the extent of calling it something else.
At one point, the Pentagon, 60% of their assets are unaccounted for. They've never passed an audit. This last deal, and we raised those issues, they
Again, pay attention to him. Look at the way he's looking at Tim Burchett. Like, thank you for answering.
penalized them by giving them $30 billion additional dollars this year. So, that's pretty clear.
He's new, by the way. Okay, not even a year in office, I believe.
We're afraid to ask, and if you ask, you're not being patriotic, and that's why I call them war pimps. That's all they are.
So why not go right now? So why not go right now to the new speaker's office and kind of get his ear before the Pentagon does?
Yeah, we should do that.
I'm sorry, y'all. He says, yeah, we should do that. Well, Matt, you should just start giving them all the ideas. Right? They're saying get to the new speaker before the Pentagon does. Because, again, what is the Speaker Johnson on UAPs? Right? We're good, says Tim Burchett. Honestly, love Tim, but what does that mean? Because literally, Representative Luna says, I think he'd probably be supportive, meaning she don't know. Probably not. I mean, there's just a lot of other stuff going on, right? But it is the United States government. We can handle a lot. We can walk and chew gum at the same time. So, and check our phones, right? Like, we can do a lot at one time, and we kind of have to. So, I don't know. All right, let me read some of these, get y'all's feedback here, and let's read some of this out. John S. says, you will not get anything from these people until they are cut down to size by law. JJ, the DOD has never supported disclosure, so it was clear IG would say, I am excited about the ICIG meeting, though. Yeah, exactly. So the next one will be different, right? And I think the next one in November is maybe going to be Meteor, right? MEAT, right? So just a lot more meat on the bone on that one. Marley did it, who, by the way, Marley did it, gave me the tweet from Rob Heatherly, about that. So I gave you credit on Reddit for that, by the way, and thank you for letting me know about that. Again, not saying that statement is true. I don't know, right? Anonymous source, I'm 50-50 on it. Halkin on Sky says, why pretend y'all live in a democracy at this point? Clearly not an American. All the taxation, none of the representation. How undermining does the truth have to be for them to sink this low? Well, just because of this one thing doesn't, not going to shit on America. All countries have problems. I've lived in 3 different countries. Okay. All countries have problems. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. That it's just our country or just some other country. All countries got problems with their government. You're going to have problems with any power, right? I mean, that's just how that goes. Marley says, we were actually told that we don't have clearance to learn certain things. Representative Moskowitz, House Oversight Committee, following a briefing by the DOD Inspector General. Okay, see, there we go. We got something new there. We were actually told we don't have clearance to learn certain things. So they got in the meeting. Maybe that's why it was pointless to them, right? And nothing new. That's interesting. Good job, Marley. If you needed any more proof, Grusch is legit. The DOD IG denying Congress information on the programs he blew the whistle on should probably do it. Tiny Klaus. Well, Good on Tiny Klaus, I guess. That guy hates Vetted, by the way, and he hates me. He thinks I'm anti-disclosure. Tried to call me out on Reddit with that stuff. Of course, he wouldn't respond when I responded to him. But anyway, keep personal things aside. That doesn't mean Grusch is legit, by the way. That's not how my thinking is. I'm not saying he's not legit. Again, if you watch the channel, I believe in Grusch the most, right? We should be following his story, but we can't just jump the gun. We've got to find out what's going on. And honestly, Grusch staying silent on some of this right now, like, dude, we need you to come out and dispel some of these rumors and stuff going on. I'm sorry. Just, you know, we do. That's what we need. We need to find out what's going on. If anything, this makes his claims, Corpsman Privateer, if anything, this makes his claims look more credible. They didn't come out saying that they doubted him or that they had concerns. Well, that's true. That's also a good point. It doesn't necessarily mean his claims are more credible, but I do agree with the second part, right? It didn't change the needle one way or the other. So I am looking forward to the November one. But let's be real. We need to find out what's going on with David Grusch and him getting to a SCIF meeting, right? That's the key. But again, maybe Congress won't have the clearance to hear some of the stuff David Grusch is going to say to him, right? And that's what's confusing, because during the hearing, he was like, I can tell you this only in a SCIF, right? Almost like implying like the classification doesn't matter. As long as we're in a SCIF, I can then tell you this stuff. But I don't know. River said, what I expected them to say, it was a good meeting and they got information to confirm or deny, but nothing more than that. Yeah, I mean, everyone has their own expectation of what they thought it was going to be. Dion says, that guy goes beetroot red. Yeah. I mean, he died talking about Burleson, y'all, in that video. He looks nervous. The speaker has his hands full. Exactly, guys. So we got a brand new speaker, right, if you haven't heard. And we just don't know what's going to happen with that guy. You know, again, Speaker Johnson, right? And Tim Burchett says, we're good to go. But they're not learning anything new. At least they're not revealing anything. Just that's all we have is this video here. River said, "Dadgummit, you know, Tim Burchett was dadgumming it his way through all of that." Sorry, Matt. Let me get back to your comment. The speaker has his hands full. He has so many factions to handle that he will not entertain a meeting devoted to the topic of UAPs. That's just silly to expect that they could even get on his calendar. No, I don't think it's silly to expect that, Matt. But yes, does he have many factions to handle? Sure. Yeah. Getting a meeting devoted to the topic of UAPs. Again, the government is widespread, man. The government handles a lot of things every day, all at once, right? From a local, right, to a state, to a federal level, then to an international level, global level, right? How many branches of the military all functioning simultaneously every day, right? How many functions of branches of the government, executive, right? Congress, House, the Senate, right? The judicial branch. I mean, let's be real. There's a lot that happens all at the same time. So no, I don't see that as silly. Maybe this, right away is potential. Yeah, for sure. But I mean, I get your point. Tim Moore, he's definitely afraid to say anything like he's about to poop himself. Okay, Tim. Okay. I mean, gosh, he does look a little constipated, Burleson. War Pimps, Burchett doesn't mix words. He says it how it feels. Yeah. I mean, yes. Matt says, that's the crux. No chance you will get more in November, potentially. That's the crux of the frustration. Perhaps discussing Crush's claims was actually on the agenda, and they discovered that they didn't have the classification to get any answers. Yeah, Matt, I think that's a huge possibility, to be honest with you. That's a huge possibility. Which means, can they seriously, with the next one's like middle of November, November 16th. So can they realistically get some of that classification between now and then? Right? I don't think so. So I don't even know if David Grusch getting in the SCIF changes anything. Right? Like, we don't know. And, this has to be the most talked about SCIF meeting of all time. It's supposed to be this secret meeting and, like, everyone knows about it. I don't know. Why isn't someone renting an RV and filming the documentary Mr. Grusch Goes to Washington? I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Jay Burkett says, I love when he throws out Dad Nabbit. Yeah, Dad Gummit. Absolutely. Look, I'm from the South. I'm going to yawl my way through this, so I can respect it. There's a little, je ne sais quoi to the Southern accent. Anyway, yeah, it seems like everyone's kind of on the same page, just frustrated by this, right? Like, this sucks. It sucks, but let's be real, kind of expected, right? Again, what were we expecting? Right? Like, they come out and Timberchet's got a piece of the UFO, like, on his notebook as he's walking out. I mean, they can't talk about what's in the SCIF meeting. That's why it's in a SCIF, right? You literally cannot talk about it. And, a lot of people, the idea was floating around before the SCIF meeting started that this was a way to shut them up. Because if we go and we tell them in a SCIF meeting, they're screwed now. Now they can't talk about it. Now we forced their hand, we told them stuff, and now they can't talk about it. Shuts that down. I mean, there's something to be said about that. Are these SCIF meetings designed to put a stop to disclosure? Right? Because classified information gets exchanged outside of SCIFs, right? You don't necessarily need a SCIF to discuss classified stuff and to be briefed, right? You think Arrow, every time they have interviews and talk to people, they're in a SCIF? No. They do interviews over the phone and through Zoom. People that are, quote unquote, testifying to Arrow or giving their story to Arrow, they'll do it on the phone. We've covered that. They'll do it on the phone with other people listening. They'll just have like a line of people calling into Arrow to Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick, and they'll literally be overlapping, right? So the next guy that's supposed to witness or testify, right, on the phone to, or whatever, testify, I wouldn't say, give his story, can literally hear the guy before him giving his story and supposedly releasing classified information, right? That doesn't make any sense. So it's just all effed up, from Arrow to the SCIFs here to... It's like the government needs to appoint like the UAP person that's in charge of it, that can run it, that can spend their time with it. Because it is true, these guys also have other things to do. They can't just focus on UAP all the time. They say, oh, Patrick, isn't that what Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick's job is? No. His job is supposedly to investigate the UAP sightings. But he's not necessarily the figurehead to the public about UAPs. You see what I'm saying? We need like a spokesperson that's like our connection that can sort of wrangle it all together from all sides. Congressmen, SCIF meetings, Arrow, right? Like, that's all they do. That's all they do. We don't have that person in our government. I think we need to elect some sort of, official like that, propose some sort of position like that. So, I don't know. John S. says, hang on, I got to read some of these comments because that's kind of funny. Tim says, I meant like he's afraid to say anything he shouldn't because they probably learned something. So he was happy when Tim took over. No, Tim. No, I don't think that's it. I think the guy's new and he's like looking for like, hey man, can you help me? Seen that happen in all kinds of jobs, right? You're not familiar with how to do these sorts of things and what to say. I don't think they learned something crazy and they're not trying to reveal it. I mean, is that a possibility? Yeah. They wouldn't be acting this way. I don't know, but I don't know. You never know. Robert Kofert says, if Grusch is truthful, there are 40 other people could be filling in the blanks. Yeah, agreed. Corpsman Privateer Timberchet walks out with the Peruvian alien on his shoulder. Yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah. They come out floating like they got the new technology already, like they just have some stuff already. No, I mean, again, to be fair, you know, Tim, to your point earlier, if they did learn something that was absolutely crazy and insane and confirmation, they probably would be saying the same thing, to be honest. Maybe they wouldn't go so far as to say we didn't learn anything new. It's pointless. So that's possible. I mean, AOCs would have left it the most ambiguous, right? If they all said classified and left it the most ambiguous, whatever. But I think Timberchet's telling us, and nothing in there. Nothing new anyway. They have no power to change this bullshit. Who's running the show? Obviously not the reps. Yeah, well, of course. I'm not sure no one knows who's running it. Good point. Good stuff, by the way. Thanks, guys. The SCIF is a chance to try and lock certain things out and up. Yeah. I mean, SCIFs can be used for all kinds of reasons, right? To actually have a dialogue in there and present information, or to lock people in, right? I told you this in the SCIF. Now it's done. It's like an NDA of sorts, potentially. You know, I mean, again, anything they tell them in these SCIFs, they legally cannot talk about. So maybe SCIFs isn't the way to go, right? Because it just locks it up from us getting this information. Matt says, the Congress people fighting for disclosure don't have the appropriate clearance. The ones that do in the Senate who are involved in these issues won't say much, so it's hard to make out their position. Yeah, absolutely, man. 100%. We're on the outside looking in, guys. It's all speculation. Anyone telling you they know this is they don't know. Okay? They don't know. They know as much as you and me and everybody watching. Nobody knows any more than us. It's impossible. Joanna says, cheers, Patrick, for sharing. Thank you, Joanna. Why can't Greer, Corbella, Knapp, etc. help pay? They want disclosure as much as the rest of us. Yeah, because, yeah, of course. So I said, I agree. Like, why aren't these people stepping up? You know, again, you've got all these different factions of people supposedly pushing disclosure in a different way, you know, and it's hard to tell. You know, there is no forest through the trees. There's no way to see the forest through the trees in this. It's impossible to get that, you know, top of the pyramid, bird's eye view. It's impossible. Everything's foggy and misty and cloudy, and we just have no way. And we're just regular citizens, right? Can't trust people that contact, you know, me. I get contacted by people, you know, got secrets, I mean, think about all the different creators that are out there that get these emails and phone calls and stuff and try to push all this nonsense, right? And some guy will be, I saw a UFO in the sky, you know, I want to send you 1,000 videos. And it's all muddied. We got so much data, so many stories and stuff that's out that just gets confusing. You know, there's no way to tell. And you get different politicians that jump in. You don't know their true intentions. Are they just jumping on this because it's popular? Or are they really want disclosure, right? Election is coming up. Are they trying to gain something from it? I don't know. Do they really think something's going on and they want to find out? Or it's just like, well, let me jump on this. It brings me support. We'll never know. I mean, you just cannot trust a politician what he tells you. You just can't, right? It's just too hard to know their actual intentions. So the only way to combat that is to rely on direct information, facts, data, right? Stuff we can verify. Don't become friendly with them. Don't look at them as heroes. Don't look at them as enemies. Just keep a neutral mind, right? The moment you start to like them and uplift them and put them on a, you know, you lose the ability to critique and, you know, maintain that neutrality, right? It's just like we need the truth, man, because this is so confusing. So Well done, mate. Keep going. Don't be disheartened. Oh man, no, definitely not. Definitely not disheartened. This is just part of what's going on, right? This is just part of. This is UFO every day, right? The UFO stuff every day. Anyone who's been in it just even a small minute learns you will be disappointed quickly, right? Nobody has a smoking gun. Otherwise, everyone would be covering that for a long time. So we're all trying to figure out what's going on. Really all we have to do is look forward to, I'm sure more stuff is going to come out about this in the next few days. And then we've got the next SCIF meeting. So, again, we'll do the same thing for it, do a live stream and see what people think about it. But again, they can't tell us what gets discussed in there. JJ, they all knew since Grusch testified that they did not have clearance. In fact, Burchett and others asked for special committee with need-to-know credentials on a signed letter to the previous speaker. Oh, wow. And then they ousted him. Yeah, the new speaker coming in is going to throw a wrench in things, guys. It just is. He's going to have a lot on his plate, a lot of things going on. And even if he gets to, a UAP meeting topic, with these guys, that doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean that he's going to move on it. They don't know where he actually stands, So, and again, it's like, I hate, I got to say this real quick. I hate that we have to rely on the personal beliefs of elected officials, right? Like, where does so-and-so stand on this? I don't give a fuck where so-and-so stands on this. What do the people want, right? I hate when a politician gives his opinion on things. Well, what do you think of this? I don't care what that dude thinks. What do your constituents want done? That's what you need to be doing. I hate that elected officials get in and then their personal beliefs and wants and desires become their motivation, right? And their push for what they do and where they spend their time. But that's not why we elected you, to go on a personal journey, through your morals here. Like, that has always bothered me. On when you see that on the news, they ask a senator, a congressman, or an ex-president, what do you think about that? I don't care what he thinks. I don't care. Even if I agree with it, I don't care. They're elected to represent their constituents, right? So it shouldn't matter what the speaker thinks on it. What do the people want? If the people want you to look into it, then that's what you do. You know what I mean? You're there to sign papers and push buttons. Why? Because don't worry, you'll get your shit on the side on your own, right? You'll make your deals and whatever. So, but this idea, that's what we need to stop doing is, picking people because of how they feel and they believe and I believe. I don't care what you believe, what you think. What do your constituents want and believe? Because that's what you need to be fighting for. The majority, right? I'm sorry. But this idea that, I think that I don't give a F what you think. Your thoughts, they don't matter. It's what the people want. Us, right? Y'all watching, listening, like it's what we want. So Mike Johnson, new speaker, it shouldn't matter his position on UAPs, right? Clearly, the military, you've got so many people saying there's something going on and we need to look into it. So the fact that his opinion is on the line is ridiculous. And even if he was all into it, I don't care. If he's not all into it, I don't care. The people want it, you do it. It's just that simple. So anyway, guys, that's my rant. There's really not much more going on. This is all there is. So you guys, again, I don't know. At the end of the day, I don't know. Nobody knows. But I will say the stuff with David Grusch and is he going to fly out to a SCIF and all that? Until we hear from David Grusch himself, we don't know anything. Anonymous sources, trust me, bros. I don't buy it. I'm sorry. If I start doing that, where am I going to end up? You know, I'm not ready to get off on that exit ramp. So we need to hear from the people themselves. I'm just tired of anonymous sources, because that person has no way to prove to us that they're not being fed information. I'm sorry. And it's always just one guy. They never check with more people. So anyway, we'll find out what's going on. We'll clearly be around for the next SCIF meeting in November. We'll see what we have to look forward to. But basically, guys, yeah, as a recap, what'd you learn in there? Absolutely nothing. Pointless, nothing new. So very, very interesting. Look, I'll be making a video tomorrow and dropping that. Here's a quick, I'll tell you what, here's a quick little preview of what I'm going to be covering tomorrow on my video. Okay. David Grusch will respond to the Lekatsky interview with evidence. I don't even know what that means. So, according to Ross Coulthard, David Grusch is going to respond to the allegations that James Lekatsky made on the Weaponized podcast that some of the 40-plus witnesses that David Grusch investigated didn't know what they were talking about, and what they were saying is false. Roscoe says that Lekatsky's allegations will be heavily disputed and evidence will be provided. What type of evidence? Why wasn't this evidence provided when David Grusch went public back in June? Am I too focused on the word evidence? What am I doing with my life? Boy, you're not right or wrong. Mike Colangelo. Go check him out right there. Ex-YouTuber and full-time video editor. Yes, so let's watch this clip real quick. And again, I'm going to end on this.
I mean, obviously, I respect their opinions, but I know what they're saying is false. Now, I was disappointed that there was no attempt to pin Jim Lekatsky further down on what he was saying there, because essentially he was slurring a lot of very brave people who've come forward to the Congress, to the Inspectors General, and also to ARO. Fat chance of them getting heard there. But the fact is, these people have risked their careers, if not their lives, in making the decision to come forward. Frankly, I do not think we should be belittling them or calling them liars. And I would like to hear the evidence, frankly, that makes any basis for the assertion that what they're saying is false. Because I know those claims made by Jim Lekatsky are going to be very aggressively and very, very vigorously disputed, and evidence will be provided.
So that's what we're going to be covering in. We're going to be digging into that. All right, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Let me read the last few comments here before we bounce out. I'm shocked. I hope Dr. Stephen Greer steps in to get SCIF sorted. That's Joanna. I can't comprehend why they did not do anything about the clearance limitations. It seems that the keepers of the secrets want to discredit these representatives and their work on the disclosure. Totally possible. What complicates that this is infighting not only within the UFO community, but also the major players like Greer, Corbell, and other big names. Yeah, I agree, man. I've talked about that on a lot. Why don't they all talk? Why don't they all, like, what's going on? Because when I jumped into the UFO community into all this, like, I was wondering why, like, what's going on here? How come I don't see interviews with these two guys and this and that? And like, what's happening? Like, that was immediately apparent to me jumping into this. Like, what's going on? And there's just a lot of different factions with their own push, their own narrative. It's interesting. Great chat. Great chat. Relax. Have a coffee, says John S. Yes. Don't worry. I'm relaxed. I'm half Latin, man, so I get tengo mucho pasión. You know what I mean? They are fuck sticks. Yeah, I'll say it, Walderside. Yeah, you're right. I agree. Gets more, the producer says, but what really is a smoking gun? Because if Arrow says it's nothing, then the government will rule it out, no matter how clear the footage is and how much footage there is. I mean, that is true. That is true. The controllers of info. Yes, they are. Thanks, Patrick. Yes, you too, guys. Greer needs to get in on his RICO lawsuit. Okay. DOD kicking the ball to the executive branch. Yeah, that's also happening, Joseph Smith says. Cheers. River says, I have seen it with that UFO podcast and a few others. Just followed you on Twitter, River. Thanks, guys. I don't use Twitter very much, but I'm trying. I hate Twitter. I hate social media, if I'm being honest. Like, I would not do it if I didn't have this job for the last 4 years of being a podcast host and producer, you know. Like, but I'm trying to get on Twitter, and I'm trying to get it going. I'm building followers little by little. So thank you, guys. I am going to be dedicating more time to being on there and trying to spread the word on there. Has the Indy AA amendment passed? No, it has not. Feel like it won't get a lot of traction until there's actual legal repercussions to withholding UAP evidence. Yeah, for sure. Joanna, I wanted to know what Stephen Greer thinks about all of this. Oh, I'm sure he'll let everyone know. River, Twitter's how I get my UFO drug fix. No, I get it. I peruse it a lot. I just don't like jump in, you know. I lark from the outside. It's like, but I'm getting used to tweeting, and I'm learning, guys. I'm learning how to do this. I'm good at this. Give me a mic, give me a camera. This is what I'm good at. I'm good at interviewing people. I'm good at using my words. So anyway, thank you to everyone who tuned in and watched. Don't forget, tomorrow at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time, I'll have another video that I upload. It won't be live. But this was a special one. I wanted to do live to make sure everything we got was up to date. So I post videos every day, every single day at noon. Okay, I don't miss a day. I haven't for a long time, and this is the grind for me. So thank you guys again for all the new subscribers and everyone that's been tuning in. I really appreciate you. Every single view, every like, every comment, every subscriber. It all means the world to me, guys. I mean that. Deepest gratitude. So, we'll see you guys on the video tomorrow. I always jump in on the premiere at noon. So if you join at noon to watch it in the premiere, I'm always in the chat to chat with everybody. So, all right, guys. Thank you guys so much. Think Big Online. Send $1 in. Thank you, guys. You don't have to do that. I don't really, I'm not out here trying to get you to whatever. I might have some merch down the road and, maybe this, that, or the other. But don't feel like you just got to, donate and that kind of stuff. It's all good. Everyone works hard for what they have. And, I appreciate anyone doing anything, of course. I'm real bad about taking compliments, guys, to be honest with you. But, you do what you want. You're in charge of yourself, right? So, anyway. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you guys next time. And Patrick with Vetted. Peace, y'all.